Welcome to the Astoria Film Festival Step and Repeat interviews. Today we're speaking with John Noel, whose films are in our 2020 festival.
Well, that's great. It's really great to see you take in the challenge that is all of the
COVID.
circumstance. Yeah, all of the circumstances and create something and continue to create and build community is really amazing, Nina. So I think you should,
Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying.
yeah, take
You
some
know,
moments to be proud and grateful of
thank you.
because
Well,
you're
I am
amazing.
grateful for you guys. I kind of very wrongly feel like, you know, like you're like the festival couple. Like you were there at our first festival. You've worked with us over the years. Like now you're getting engaged. You got engaged. I'm like, like I don't know. I kind of take it personally, and I'm very excited about it.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think it's wrongly at all. I think we're definitely part of the family at this point. I feel like,
Yeah.
for,
Likewise.
for years to come, hopefully. I mean,
Yay. That makes me very happy.
yeah.
All right, so let's talk about you and your background and how you got started as a filmmaker.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I moved to New York City, I guess a little over 10 years ago from Connecticut to become an actor. And I was doing theater and film at the time. And then basically just started creating my own projects, started writing, getting behind the camera, doing a lot of editing and fell in love with that as well. And then I began helping actor friends with their reels to shoot and edit them, and that was a lot of fun. And so I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago we started Film Repertory Group, which was just like a bunch of filmmakers and friends that were frustrated with whatever job they had and they just wanted to make stuff. And so we just basically put a group of filmmakers together that made stuff. And we had been just making things, doing 48-hour film festivals and contests and social media videos and generally making stuff and having a great time. And then I kind of entered the professional freelance version of video production and editing soon after that with my own small company, John Noel Productions, which is a one-man production company. It's just me, and I do a lot of video editing and small-time production work and helping people secure production work and finish their films. And I've also been doing a lot recently of converting live and theater performances to digital. Everything from a church worship service in San Francisco to my favorite theater company that I work for, which is Treehouse Shakers, which is a nonprofit theater for young audiences company that is now, we're trying to get a web series started called Pillow Fort, which was my idea for a little web series for young audiences, and we're working on that. And of course, I am pushing Pillow Fort because we have been developing it for a while, and we are now in the crowdfunding campaign, and we need people's help. It's on all of my social media at John Noel Productions and at John Noel 87 on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, it's a nonprofit children's theater company that is trying to survive. I've been a company member for a while, and they have done such a great job of taking care of us in this time, and they have checked in with us and done everything they can. And I kind of came up with this idea and have been developing this project just as like a thank you to them. And so I'm trying to make it happen so that, they have a place to go if indeed they can't go back to live theater. Still freelancing as much as I can. I'm in my little home office here, which is my bedroom plus this IKEA wood thing behind me, and still doing a lot of freelance video editing from here and seeing
Last
what
I talked,
happens.
last I talked to you, you said that you were actually having a good deal of work because of all the post-production you do, and that was pretty much all anyone was doing for a while. Has
Yeah,
that
I'm.
been the case?
Yeah, production work seems to be coming back slowly but surely in New York City. But post production work, I'm still working on a short film and continue to receive requests for some post production work here and there, and continue to see remote jobs. Video editing is one of the things that you can still do from home, especially now with transferring files online was very difficult, and there's actually a lot of ways to do that now. I'm a Google Drive person, but there are indeed many ways to get large files now. So I have been working relatively well. I would say probably less than the full-on scope of production work that was happening beforehand, but it's definitely shifting to more post-production and video editing work.
So tell us, which films, by the way, do you want me to credit to you and which to Sarah? Because I can do it however you like.
Meat is hers. I mean, you know, we are like a team on that. We're a team on everything, but that is hers. That is her concept, her dance, her film. A Good Night's Rest is mine. She helped me a little bit on it, but that's mine. So basically, that it's not you. I guess is both of us. That's both of us. I forget about that. And like, and of course, A Good Night's Rest is not just me. It's Jason. Oh, I forgot about that. That's Sarah. That's Sarah.
Okay.
Producing
Tell us
Convia.
about A Good Night's Rest.
Absolutely. Well, it all started at Astoria Film Festival. Actually, when none of our films were in it, we just went to go to Astoria Film Festival, and we met Jason Coons there, Sarah and I. And Jason and I got to talking about working on a project, and that happens at film festivals and exchange numbers and whatever. But then we kept talking, we kept meeting up and like talking about what scripts or what we'd want to work on. And Jason is a fantastic writer, so I kind of assumed we'd be working on one of his scripts. And we went through everything, and
amazing actor. And
oh yeah, I mean he's all of the above kind of guy. And so I assumed we were working on one of his scripts, and he liked A Good Night's Rest. It's kind of a very simple concept, but we felt really good about it. And then, but then he worked with me on the script, and we worked through on pre-production. We got everything together, and we're like, all right, let's shoot this horror. So we shot a horror short in 2 days in our lead's apartment. Our other lead, Deanna Henson, who is amazing in this, along with Jason, who was the other lead actor in this and is amazing. And yeah, and now I'm looking back on it, and it feels very nostalgic because it was all of us running around. It was like almost a year ago, so it was like September. It was warm. All of us were doing 5 different jobs, and it was a scramble. But now it feels like the best thing that ever did happen, and I hope it happens again soon. But you know, and
there's
yeah.
nothing like that feel of being on a set. Like it's something very addictive that it's hard to replicate without contact. You know.
Yeah, I think that's for a lot of us. The deal, like the feeling of that, was gone for a while, and it's really hard to deal with because we're used to everyone who knows me, I'm kind of like a fast-paced guy. I'm running around all the time. I like it, and this whole thing has forced us to kind of stop, and I hate that. But being in quarantine probably did help post-production, I'll have to say. Being unemployed probably did help post-production for me, having a lot of time on my hands.
Everybody's gonna have like amazingly edited films next year because of all the time this year to
oh yeah, there's going to be a flood of films that were made this next year that would have never been finished because everyone would have dropped it in post-production if they had time on their hands.
Yep, absolutely. And it's not you. Tell us a little about that. What motivated that creation?
Oh man, well, that was really one of those, it just happened, we are going to be locked in here. Sarah and I love each other, but we have a very, very small apartment. So of course we like to take real life and just extrapolate and like expand and make it into something crazier and bigger. And so we just thought about, a couple that just moved in together and having to deal with this and how crazy that scenario is. And we just started playing with that, and we really needed a creative outlet, I think, when all this first happened, because we couldn't be on sets, we couldn't get our filmmaking fix, we couldn't get our creative fix, and so we just were like, we need to do something. And so there was a lot of that energy to it, which I kind of love.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely like a time capsule piece in addition to being, having its own merit.
And now I'm like very, very interested in the quarantine films because of that. I think there's just the same thing kind of happened to a lot of people, and there seems to be an extraordinarily different amount of takes and like impressions and opinions about like, you know, your circumstance is entirely different, even if the same thing kind of like happened to everybody.
Yes.
And
Oh, absolutely.
And
I mean, there was a surprising or not surprising number of horror films that came through the quarantine films. Like they were quarantine films, but they were basically horror films. And then there were kind of very like hopeful, sunny ones, right? One literally named Hope. So
yeah,
it depended on your, and they could have been pushing for hope because they were hopeless, or they just have a different perspective. I don't know.
too is like people are, you know, I made a horror short before this, and then I made another horror short during quarantine, and now I'm moving on to, of course, a web series for kids about a pillow fort. And it's just like, well, you know, both things are necessary.
They are, and I like the range. I like the flexibility that you have.
Yeah, I like I have a dance horror children's theater vibe to me for sure.
You do, though. I think that very much explains you in a nutshell. Dance, horror, children's theater.
It's a mess of stuff that makes no sense. It's fine. It's fine.
But it comes together beautifully in you.
Thank you, Nina. I always appreciate you. You're very sweet.
Likewise.